how's it going, everyone? Just kind of gonna show you what how dedicated I am when I go spearfishing. I don't know. People say they like me when I have some facial hair, but having this mustache with the mask just drives me nuts. It always leaks. There's always this silicone goop that you can kind of put across it, but I always run out. I always need it once I take my mask off a few times in the ocean. If somehow I get some water in there, it drives me nuts. So I've just decided to shave it all off every weekend whenever I can actually get in the ocean. Look pretty much Amish after that for about a week or so, which is kind of funny. But other than that, I'm like, I don't care. It's so much better in the ocean, so much easier to seal on the mask. So this is what I do. This is what you call dedication. Definitely need to get a new razor. This is cheap. A cheap little one. The fish don't even know what we have to go through to get them. They don't even respect us. There we go. Look good on a. It's time to go get them. Just gonna show everyone back. This is kind of a quick thing I have to do every what is it, Friday night, trying to set up for Saturday morning. I always have to go through all my, my chart, my cameras. You gotta get all batteries all set up. These batteries are for my flashlight that goes on my hand. Basically goes in, and then all these go to my two little Akaso cameras that I use now for my spear gun. I have my old original spear gun. It's a longer one, and then since everyone was telling me in forums on Facebook, things like that, it's better to have the small one to go in so you can work and get into the rocks a little bit better. I tried it, bought one. Highly recommend going smaller, much easier to work with on the Oregon coast, at least in jetties areas and just the rocky parts. I don't know about everywhere because I'm still a beginner and still working on that. Then I always have my fishing rod that I always take so I can jetty fish either before or after spearfishing, depending when high tide is and all that kind of stuff. Kind of setting up, getting some food, and then I got my fishing backpack over here. Has a whole bunch of just fishing gear, obviously, and then going through a little cooler that I carry also with my bag when I go fishing, so I have somewhere to put fish and not let them go bad while they're on your back, or like while you're just out there. I always keep some ice in there, my float, a few other things inside here. I got Crocs, and I even went to the point where I glued felt onto the bottom. This one actually fell off, so I got to redo it on it. But it definitely made a huge difference walking on the rocks so you don't damage your neoprene booties. And so I'm going to redo that on that one and go with that. And then just a cooler, and then my bag full of my wetsuit and all the rest of my gear. So eventually I'll be making more videos and kind of explaining what kind of gear I have, what I like, what I found I don't really care for, and just make videos of the setups, kind of like of my spear gun, because I know I've been asked multiple times. Of course, I'm gonna get stuck in. I'll grab my smaller one, but kind of the setup that I got here going with the slider and this washer here. They just slide and go together, but I'll make a video on that here soon. So hope I start seeing you guys out there. It's always hard, I'm in the wrong place, but it's always interesting. I get asked to go spearfishing out with some of the people, and I haven't gone yet. I've always been kind of more alone doing this, which I know I need to get out and hang out with you guys more so we can all just teach each other. So here soon, that's going to be the plan. So it'll be good to see you guys all out there. I'll see you at the ocean. Okay, I'll set up here first. So, work and climb down. Oh, here's a good flat spot, kind of. So you gotta climb, be careful on these rocks. You get slippery and fall through sand spots. Okay, let's see. Oh. Yeah, also when you sit your bags down, you don't want them to fall through these cracks. I mean, you you lose stuff real fast, and it just really sucks when something like that happens. You always got to be careful. But okay, so right now I normally tie my line lately, but I bought this leader, this one that I'm gonna try at Stabby Dave's. Great shop in Newport that I'll have to get a lot of gear from. Highly recommend them. But I'll be kind of working on this. I kind of think it's a good idea. Keep this little piece of plastic on here. This little tubing holds them out stiff and straight. So I'm going to try this out and then work off learning those knots. I already know this one right here, but this is called a high-low rig. So you got your weight on the bottom followed by a hook. This one in Oregon, you can have 3 hooks, going 3 single hooks, and then going up to a swivel. And then I have that bead, so then it just doesn't go, it gets stuck, the swivel doesn't get stuck in the eye of my fishing pole and jam in there or damage it. So just got that, but we're gonna line up some sand shrimp. If anyone doesn't know what a sand shrimp is, there we go. So these guys are sand shrimp. So you pull them up. Some of them got a big claw, and this is star perch and greenling, things like that. This is one of their food sources. So if anyone doesn't want their kids or doesn't want to see this, I'd say viewer discretion is advised. You always kind of feel bad at first, even though I've kind of gotten over it now. But killing them, it's basically kind of like a worm or anything else like that. You gotta use it as bait, live bait. So that's what it is. It's gonna catch you some food. So take that guy, just rip it in half. I even take claw off so I can't get attacked and pinched. I haven't really gotten pinched hard, even though fine with crawdads and all that, but I have no issue. But yeah, then you just put them on your hook, set it on the hook, go through, slide it up some. I'm just going to do that, and the same with the tail. You can see all that orange and all that in them. That's nice, good scent trails that it leaves. And so you're going to thread it onto your hook. These are bait holder hooks. Definitely very helpful. Slide that on there, have the hook kind of exposed. Need another piece. Actually, I decided today I'm going to go 2 types of bait. So I'm going to also go for a plastic. So I'm going to grab my bag. Because another great bait, depending on the time of year, it seems during summertime really good, and then wintertime, I don't know, I always have troubles, but it's always hit and miss. But these Golt minnows, I get the 3-inch ones. They always, I don't know, they always seem to get better. Maybe just because they're a little bit bigger. Fish think it's like more of a meal, more of a risk they're willing to take to get that food. So put that in there. So that means 2 shrimp, or 2 pieces of shrimp, and then have this minnow so we can kind of see what the fish might be hitting today. I want to have the fish kind of look, move the camera up, I want the fish to look like it's alive, so you kind of see how your hook is. I guess technically this one kind of lays sideways like that, which isn't as helpful. I like them when they're tied and the hook lays like that. We'll see. So I'm going to have it go and stab it through the front. Like I said, it's rubber, it has scent on it. Little Golt minnow. Thread it on until you're near the tail, because they always seem to bite from the back. If you lose the tail, you might as well just change the piece of rubber. So you're going to thread that and thread it up kind of went a little back. We'll see on there, just like that. And lastly, always make sure to put your sand shrimp back in your cooler. Which I'm going to try salted clam next. I've never actually done that before. And of course I got some food and some ice in here for the day before I go spearfishing, hopefully. Okay, leave that like that. And then lastly, you want, for these sand shrimp, you want to get this, I'm not sure remember what it's called, but it's a stretchy elastic what do you call it, an elastic string basically. I always forget what it's called, so if I remember I'll put it in on the screen once I learned to do that. Like I said, new to editing, so we'll do that. You snap some of it off, and this just helps keep your bait on your hook. So you want to grab it so it's easy, to get a hold of. And then you just take that onto that piece of sand shrimp right there. And you're going to back the sand shrimp and just start wrapping it around. But you want to be careful not to grab your hook. And you don't want to wrap over your hook like that. Because then you're going to have a problem like with the hook trying to set into the fish. So you always want to make sure you go around and just not onto the barb or the point of the hook. Kind of made a mess of this talking, so we'll just go with it and then show you, and then just kind of get a good amount of wraps on there, and then you snap it off. And I always, if I have any extra, I just kind of throw it in a cooler or something like that. I don't leave it everywhere because you just see too much of just cut pieces of line and or just hooks or bait wrappers, things like that. It always drives me nuts that people do that. So I'm gonna take another piece of elastic string, trying to remember what it's called. I keep it in my pocket, and it's a little bit hanging out like that, so I can just easily keep kind of pulling as I go. I don't have to keep grabbing the whole thing out, because it just gets tiring. Because these fish, even with this, they still can pull this sand shrimp right off, and just drives you nuts. You keep trying to catch it, and they keep biting on it. And if you keep having fish just taking sand shrimp, taking sand shrimp, and you just can't get a hook set, everyone, and me included, believe it's just that it's the smaller fish right out there, and they're just nibbling on it by it. They can't get a hold of the hook, so they just basically eat it off of your hook. And there's nothing really you can do about that besides change locations. And that's basically how you set it up. Now those are pretty good set on there. So right now I'm using a 2-ounce weight. And let's cast. Let's see if we can find something. I guess lastly, always check your drag. That is way too tight. Basically, the amount of strength when you set the hook, or if they pull on the line, you don't want it to be so tight that they can snap the line. Though, definitely is not going to happen. For me, this is a 40-pound mono, I think, that said on the package for this line. I think my braid is also about that, which isn't, you always want to have whatever your main line be stronger than your leader, so if you can snap it off, it can snap. But since I'm just testing this out, that's just how it is. So cast out there, out beyond the rocks, let it hit the bottom, and then with sand shrimp you kind of just wait. See if you get some nibbles or bites, and just kind of cast. I kind of cast straight one direction and then the other direction a few different times. Oh, I think I'm already getting, is there waves or I'm getting a bite on? So, let's see. Oh, yeah, no, I think I'm getting a bite. It's always hard to tell. So, no, I definitely feel like I'm getting a bite. Anyways, yeah, I always work and I go kind of right or middle, right, left, either way, and then I'll do that for a few times, and then I will move. If I'm using sand shrimp or things with scent. Now, if I'm jigging, I'll stay and just keep also work the whole location. I'll kind of stay more, but our water visibility is not so good right now, so. No, I just want to see. I keep feeling something. It's always the problem sometimes. Waves underneath, the currents underneath kind of tricks you, but I feel like it might be a small fish just tapping on it. Okay, so I'm heading back. Didn't catch any fish, just got some bites here and there, but no fish. But I gotta start getting prepped to get into the ocean to start spearfishing. So we'll see if we can get, if I have any better luck with that. All right, bye.
I was gonna show like the whole hassle of getting into the wetsuit and all that kind of stuff, but I got stopped by quite a few people in the parking lot asking me lots of questions, so I had to race back down to the ocean basically to get back in the water before it was too late, because you only have a very limited time to get in the water. You only have about 2 hours to be in slack tide, so I had to get in. So I definitely should have locked the floppers down before I loaded the spear gun, just to avoid any sort of accidents. This is a kelp greenling, and it just always hurts when you miss. So you can see here how much easier it is to reload the spear gun with the setup that I have on it versus the traditional way they're set up. I found this watch on Amazon, but of course it's too small for my wrist, so I just attach it to my gun so I can check my surface intervals. So I first noticed this red rock crab, and then the next thing I notice is the nice big large Dungeness crab. So I'm like, oh heck yeah. But of course it's a female, so can't keep it. Of course, my spear gun's safety was on, so it took me a second to take the shot, but it was a good shot, so I was pretty happy with it. So I was expecting to pull the fish up like I normally do, but the spear got itself lodged in some rocks, so I had to dive back down and get the spear and get the fish. Here's a perfect example of why I liked my gun setup, just because you can see how easily it is to get tangled in all the other lines that you have connected to you. So just taking away the spear gun's line is just so helpful. Whenever I spear a fish, I always take it immediately over to my stringer that's attached to my float. I know some people attach them to themselves. I'm just always too paranoid to get myself caught on a rock or something like that, so I just always put it on my float. I do always love finding fishing gear for myself, especially it's always fun when you find that and then you use it and you catch a fish off of it. This was a striped surf perch that I was following and finally shot, and the spear actually ripped out also on this guy. So I knew that I had a problem, and I found out that my band is too powerful for this stubby gun. So I since switched bands so it doesn't just like blow a massive hole through the fish, so where the spear can just pull back out. So this footage definitely does not do it justice of how many bait fish were everywhere. It was pretty crazy. I was trying to film as best as I could, but they would just dart off, and then I'd try to get close and they'd dart off. But I swear there was like millions, it seemed like. It was pretty awesome. Thank you all. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't the most action-packed one, but it's still a fun trip. But I'll see you all in the next one.